All right, good evening. It's a Thursday night here on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. It is the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series brought to you by Ohio Indiana Roofing. It is the Samantha Mills Memorial 200 supporting hashtag LDA. Chris Nunn alongside Joe. Don't call me Panini Panino. Not coming to us live from Panera Bread. Good evening, Joe. How you doing?
Doing good, Chris, and real excited to be here. Never actually broadcasted a race here at Michigan, so looking forward to it and looking forward to a good race from these guys.
Currently got practice going on at the moment. Dale Osborne, he sits fourth in the point standings right now. He currently sits at the top of the charts in practice, 37.704. Brian Snare, he currently sits in the seventh position in point standings. He sits in that second spot in practice. Dustin Ping, he sits third. He is sixth in points. Take a look at last week's racing action from Rockingham. It was Colin Allman picking up the win, and we do not see him in the rundown at all for this one. He picked up the win. Brian Littleton was second. Steve Baker third. Mr. Osborne came home in the fourth spot. Brandon Mefford was fifth. There's Brian Miskell Jr., Troy Radford, Eric Blount, Cade Green, and Thomas Quattlebaum Jr. rounding out the top 10. This is a 100-lap race right smack dab in the middle of the daytime. Joe, we expect some possible tire wear to come into play at some point in time.
Yeah, that's for sure, and these guys are running on a 5-tire limit, so definitely going to be interesting to see how these guys utilize that and what their pitch strategies are, because middle of the day here on 5 tires, I mean, that can get a little rough at 200 miles.
Yeah, they are currently running they're going to be running a 75% fuel load for tonight's race, and that's also going to come into play as fuel, not having a fuel tank, so you have to make some pit stops here in this one. So pit stop strategy also going to come into play as well, even though it's a 100-lap race.
Yeah, and I'm really excited. There's some real hype guys on these point standings, some guys that are definitely looking to secure their spot in the finals of the series, because they are coming up on I believe they only have 3 races left, if I'm not mistaken. And some of these guys are looking real close in the point standings.
They were taking a week off, then coming back on the 27th with the ALS Association 150. That'll be Richmond Raceway at the nighttime race, 150 laps. And then the Lion Creek Brewing 200 presented by SCT. That'll be at Land Motor Speedway on the 3rd of September. And then the 10th of September, the Victory Junction 200. That'll be at the Kansas Speedway. And All-Star Showdown, that's coming up on September the 24th. That's at the Lucas Oil Raceway in the Oval. So that's the remaining races we have here in the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series, brought to you by the Ohio Indiana Roofers. You are watching live here on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. It is tonight. It is the Samantha Mills Memorial 200 supporting hashtag LDA. I want to send out a big special thank you to Mr. BJ Duvall, or William Duvall, whatever you want to call him. Mr. Duvall is what we're going to call him, for being our producer tonight and handing you all of our great camera angles. And he does a good job. And I'll tell you what, taking a look at some of the practice speed still, it is still Dale Osborne in that top spot, 37.740 with just less than 2 minutes remaining in practice. Brian Snare, Dustin Payne, Chris Wood into that 3rd or 4th position. Brian Britt runs 5th. Troy Radford, Steve Baker, Eric Blount, Roy Hyde, and Alan Pajari sits in that 10th spot. Joe, I'm telling you what, these practice times, less than a second separate 1st through 23rd. That's about as close as you can get.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that you can get anywhere near closer with that. These guys are definitely showing that they're on a pretty level playing field, and looking at some of these guys' iRacing license, all these guys are in the A and B class and seem to have some pretty high safety ratings. So looking forward to see some of these drivers that are some very good drivers, and how they race with one another, and if they can keep this field tight.
Yeah, once again, like I said, less than a second separating 1st through 23rd, coming up on a minute to go in practice. Then I believe we're going to have qualifications, and then we're going to get set to go with tonight's 100-lap main event here. 2.0, that's the exact mileage here at the Michigan International Raceway. A sparse crowd on hand today. Looks like there's social distancing there in the grandstands. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and you can never be too safe. You know, these iRacing, even so with it being a simulation, they do try and enforce the social distancing rule, as we can see. Now, is that social distancing or just low crowd? What are we thinking here?
We're going to go with social distancing on this one. We're not going to call it a low crowd. They are social distancing. They are coming out, and they are excited to watch us once again right here on LSR TV. Live Sim Racing. That's right, livesimracing.com is your home for sim racing. 10 seconds left in practice, and it'll be time for qualifications. If we can get BJ, I didn't get a chance to talk to BJ about this off camera, so BJ, if you can take an off mic opportunity here. Breaks here. We'll have one break after qualifying, and then we'll try to do our best to talk as much as we can throughout the broadcast to keep from limiting our commercial breaks so you guys can see exactly what's going on. Qualifying on the track now, Joe. It is time to see who's got what and find out who's going to start on the pole for today's race.
That's for sure, and these drivers put up some pretty fast times in that practice session, so I'm excited to see what they can do in a qualifying session. I'm not 100% sure, and don't know if you know, Chris, is this an open or a fixed setup race?
Did not see in the rundown. I am believing it is an open setup. That is my assumption. That is an open setup. Got cars on the racetrack right now. Dustin Ping is on the racetrack. Brian Snare on the track as well. Doug Wysocki, Eric Blount, Dale Osmond, Alan Pajari on the racetrack, as in Justin Walters. There you see Doug Wysocki coming out onto the racetrack in that Falcon Motorsports number 34 machine. Doug Wysocki out on the racetrack. He currently sits in the 9th position in the overall point standings. He's moved up 2 spots from last week when he was sitting 11th.
Yeah, and that car, I like that paint scheme on that car. It's real bright, really gives you that pop that you want to see.
Cars.
Excited.
I always like the good yellow and green schemes. Kind of reminds me of a Cole Trickle looking paint scheme there.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, I'm more of a black and blue guy myself, but it is what it is.
All right, Alan Pajari taking the first lap there, 37.805. So he's going to set the time to beat, 37.805. Eric Blount, 37.91 coming up, and Justin Walters, 39.18. Looks like everything's piling up there on our pylon there on the left side of the screen. Dale Osmond goes to third quick, the 38.8. Dustin Ping going to the 4th spot, 38.3. Doug Wysocki now clocking in 5th with a 38.8. So we are going to work on our scoring pylon. There we go. There it is right there. Steve Baker. How about that? Current points leader going to 4th quick, 38.272. As Joe, as we've seen throughout the year, qualifying, it kind of don't matter because we have a 100-lap race to go. A lot of these guys can start in the back and work their strategies and end up towards the front.
That's true. I don't disagree, but at the same time, qualifying could also give you a real big jump. And if you start on that pole, as we've seen in some other series, that some of those guys really can hold that spot if they can just stay in the pack and just get some good blocks.
Take a look at Brandon Mefford on the racetrack now in that Falcon Motorsports number 83 machine. Brian Snare, third quick, 38.237. Chris Wood going to the 4th spot, 38.182. Troy Radford clocking in 7th quick. Still got about 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go in qualifying. The time to beat right now, Alan Pajari, 37.805. So far, the time to beat. And nobody's looking like they're getting even close to that right now.
No, and I did confirm that this is open setups, so how these guys set up their car in qualifying and during this race is going to be huge, and a lot of these guys have a lot of knowledge on that, and I'm interested to see how that works with the team setup as well here, because there's some drivers here that have 4 or 5 guys on a team, and how would that work when do they share setups, and do they stick together, and can one team dominate this field, or what?
I can almost probably guarantee you that the teammates are probably sharing some information, but you also got to believe that some of them aren't telling all of their secrets. Dustin German going to the 6th spot, 38.215 on the timing charts right now. Currently, only 13 cars have taken time at the moment.
Yeah, and there's only about 10 seconds left here in this qualifying, so really not sure if this is planned and these guys are just setting some stuff up or what, but maybe some guys just don't feel like they need to qualify and they just want to set up and just get ready for the race.
All right, there it is. Alan Pajari was your fastest qualifier of the evening, and he's going to start on the pole. We're going to take a quick break and be back here at the Michigan International Speedway. You're watching the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series, brought to you by Ohio and Indiana Roofing, the Samantha Mills Memorial 200, supporting #LDA. We'll be right back here in one moment.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
All right, we are back live here on LSR TV. It is the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series, brought to you by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. It is the Samantha Mills Memorial 200, supporting #LDA here on LSR TV, your home for sim racer. We're going to take a look at your starting lineup for today's 100-lapper. On the pole with a fast time of 37.805 out of Texas, it's Alan Pajari in the 5 machine. Outside of him, we're going to see Eric Blount in the number 6 machine. He'll start second.
And in row 2, we're going to have Brian Snare in the 43 machine out of Virginia, and then Chris Wood's going to be on his outside in the 91 out of Georgia.
Row 3 on the inside, currently sitting 4th in the point standings out of the Virginia area. It's the number 88 machine. That'll be Dale Osmond. Outside of him, starting 6th in the number 99 machine. That'll be Dustin German.
And it's going to be your points leader, Steve Baker, out of the Carolina area, and the number 55 on the inside, with Troy Radford on his outside in the 94.
Row 5 on the inside, out of Indiana, it's going to be Dustin Ping. He currently sits in the 6th position in points. Outside of him, another fellow Hoosier. He currently runs in the 10th position. He'll start 10th. It is the 84. That'll be Chris Mefford.
Brandon Mefford, pretty sure that's going to be a brother match there in the 83 machine, and he's going to be followed. I didn't quite get to see the number who was in 12th. It's going to be Justin Walters in the 46.
Starting in row number 7 on the inside, it is Doug Wysocki in the Falcon Motorsports number 34 machine. And outside of Wysocki, starting in 14th, that'll be Chris Canfield in 03.
And the 15 and 16 is going to be Roy Hyde on the inside out of Michigan in his home town. And then it's going to be Brian Littleton out of the Pennsylvania in the 80 car on the outside.
Row number 9 on the inside, out of Carolina, it's going to be the number 95 machine. That'll be Travis Smith. Outside of him, we're going to see the number 33 machine of Brian Miskell Jr. He'll start on the outside of row number 9.
Row number 10 is going to be Tyler Hilton in the 82 machine out of Falcon Motorsports, and then Matthew Meekin in the number 4 out of the Virginia area on the outside.
Row number 11 on the inside, we're going to see the number 19 machine of Cade Green out of Florida, and outside of him in the Muddy Water Racing number 57 machine, they call him Mud, and that'll be Damon Cox.
Ryan Britton in the 05 machine out of the Carolina area in the 23rd, followed by Josh Caudill in the number 9 out of the Carolina area on his outside.
All right, only 13 cars took time, but we have 24 cars getting set to go. And Joe, I think you might have been right about exactly what we were talking about there in qualifying. Some people just didn't want to come out there and take a qualifying time. They're going to trust those race setups. You got those drivers that have teammates, sharing some knowledge, sharing some know-how. And I believe we are getting set to go. Green flag racing here at Michigan International Raceway. It is the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series, brought to you by Ohio and Indiana Roofing, and we are Green Flag Racing here at Michigan.
Alan Pajari with a real big jump there at the start. He definitely took off from that pack right away, giving himself already a third of a second lead there, kind of just giving himself some distance, but it looks like the pack right behind him is going to already bring that to a close.
You take a look here at the battle right now. That is Dale Osmond and number 88 machine battling with Dustin German side by side, coming out of turn number 1 and coming out of turn number 3 and 4. Down the front straight, they're starting to fan out 2-3 wide. Battle for the lead now. Brian Snare going to go to the bottom of the racetrack in number 43. He'll take the lead away from Pajari. He's going to bring Eric Blount with him. They're going to try to go 3 wide into turn number 1 and 2.
Looks like Brian Snare almost went right in front of Pajari there. That was a little bit close, got right in front of his bumper, but they keep it clean, and these guys are really pushing that speed quick, so real curious to see how these guys are going to do as this continues and as they just stay in a pack and as these tires wear out.
Brian Snare fast last time around, 45.71 seconds, the fastest time of the group so far here in this race, as we're going to stack him up again 3 wide here down the front straightaway. Look at Dustin German in the 99 going below the white line, already moving himself up into that 3rd spot. The 6th machine of Eric Blount and Chris Wood on the outside of the racetrack. He's going to fall back to 5th. Already some drivers juking and jiving towards the front, not wasting any time.
And these top 9 cars, as you can see, they're starting to pull away from that back pack and really give that top 10 about a 1 second lead right now. They seem to just be driving in a nice pack, keeping it clean and just steady and really not pushing too aggressively on anything.
Yeah, already a second. Looks like Alan Pajari is already on pit road in that number 5 machine. Hopefully nothing wrong on that machine, so he's already going to go to the pit road. Tom Quattlebaum Jr. already out of this one. There you see Alan Pajari in that Big Gut sponsored number 5 machine. Your pole setter already heading down towards pit road. Going to take a look and see what's going on here down the back straightaway, as Dustin German's already worked himself up right there on the tail of the 43 machine of Brian Snare, going for the lead. But behind him, here comes the 55 of Steve Baker, your points leader. He's caught right up to the back end of Eric Blount, trying to make a move on that number 6 machine.
Baker, he started the race real far down there. He was down at, I think he was 7th or 8th to begin this, and he's already pushing up there into the top 5. So definitely getting aggressive. And some of these guys that are up there in your top 5 moved up 4, 5, 3 spots. So there's a lot of movement up there in that group.
Absolutely, and there you see him snaking down that back straightaway here at the Michigan International Raceway. I was trying to find exactly where Alan Pajari was in our voice chat, but he's not in there that I did not see, so I was going to try to check out, see exactly what was going on with him, but can't find him. Ray Radford already out of this one in number 47 machine. Alan Pajari already back out onto the racetrack. He is in 23rd position right now. Definitely issues on that machine as we take a look at the number 6 of Eric Blount going to the inside of Dustin German for that 2nd spot. Dustin paying up to 4th now. Steve Baker's dropped back 1 spot to the 5th spot in 55.
You know, and one good thing about these pavement cars, though, Chris, is even though Pajari went in and did pit real early in this race and dropped way back, if there's a caution or anything, he's going to get that gap to close up, and he's going to try and push himself to get right back up there because he's still on that lead lap.
Taking a look here, 38.887 the last lap time around for Brian Snare, 38.9 as Dustin Ping to the inside of the 6th machine of Eric Blount, going to take that 2nd spot away from him, as we've already got a lap car coming up here in front of your leaders. I believe that'll be Tom Quattlebaum Jr. in the 08 machine that's going to be right ahead of your leaders. And there you see him. There is Tom Quattlebaum Jr. out of Georgia, already in danger of being put a lap in arrears this early in the race.
Yeah, and sometimes that happens. I mean, some of these drivers are just much faster than some of the others, and if you're just not quick and just can't get that setup just right for you, you're going to fall back and you're going to lose laps, and they'll pass you over and over.
Chris Wood now looking at the inside of Dustin German. That's going to be the battle for the 4th spot as they roll out of turn number 2. Almost some contact made by those two drivers, as here comes the field. They're going to freight train him down the back straightaway. Chris Wood getting ready to get past both by Osmond, and he's got the 94 machine of Troy Radford right there on the outside of him. But look at him, he's fighting back on the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, and these drivers getting real close with each other and getting a little bit loose. We haven't had a caution here yet, so curious to see if these guys can keep it clean and for how long they can keep it clean.
Keeping it clean is the factor here at Michigan. You don't want to get caught up in an early incident. You don't want to get caught up in any incidents whatsoever. You want to have a nice, clean race. Currently racing lap number 9 right now. We've been clean and green so far from the start. If you're just now joining us, early pole setter Alan Pajari pulled into the pit area just a few laps into the race, and he is all the way back into the 24th position. Brian Snare up to the lead. He is currently leading from Dustin Ping in that second spot right there in the 1 machine. Eric Blount in the 6, as those top 3 cars have pulled away to over a 1-second advantage over 4th place running Dustin German. And here comes the battle for the lead, Joe.
And these guys are pushing. They're getting aggressive here. They really want that lead, and they're close on each other around those corners. So if Eric Blount, he's really getting some speed coming up, and he's pulling. Those 3 in the front are just pulling away from that pack more and more. It's looking like, Chris, and I'm going to be excited to see how they do in this lap traffic.
Yeah, lap traffic. Once again, you got Tom Quattlebaum Jr. ahead of them. You can see him right there in the left side of your screen for just a split second there. Here comes Dustin Ping now to the inside. We are caution. Yellow flag is out for the first time here at the Michigan International Raceway as we are working caution number 1.
And I don't think that Dustin got past Brian Snare there. Let's see what the caution was. Looks like the 95 got high and came into the number 3.
Now Travis Smith, you see him right there in the number 95 machine, bringing out the caution. Got caught up in an incident with that 03 machine. So unfortunate circumstances here. The 03 of Chris Canfield in the 95 machine of Travis Smith bringing out the caution here. Caution number 1 here at Michigan International Raceway. We'll keep it right here on the broadcast. We'll see if anybody makes any pit stops here. As once again, we're going to try to limit our commercial breaks to just a few. No sense in going to commercial when we don't have to. So, once again, if you're just now joining us, this is the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series brought to you by Ohio Indiana Roofing. It is the Samantha Mills Memorial 200 supporting hashtag LDA. And Joe, we have got pit stops coming up. See Radford, Baker on pit lane, Littleton, Hyde, Medford, Smith, Miskell, everybody coming down on pit road. Everybody except the top 5 has come in on pit road.
Yeah, now top 6 drivers are staying out there, and it was our top 5, and then I think Steve Baker was the only one in the top 5 that came down pit road. So this is going to be interesting to see how they do with this tire wear and the fresh tires off of these guys that are on their starting tires still.
So we're also working a 75% fuel load, so fuel strategy may come into play later on as well. Currently sitting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon at the on Michigan virtual race time on a not quite sure what the temperature is outside. We did not get a temperature reading on exactly how hot the track is at the moment, so obviously tire wear is going to become an issue here. So everybody pitting except the top 5 or 6. So they're going to be sitting ducks here on 12-lap-old tires.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. I want to see how these guys start off when they get back on that green flag. As we saw earlier, we had our pole, Alan Pajari. He just kind of took off, so let's see what happens with Brian Snare. Is he going to just floor it, or is he going to take it and just sit in the pack with that group?
Exactly. See what's going to happen here when we come back to green flag racing. See if anybody comes in on this next time around. And I'm not looking for them to come in. I think a lot of these guys may be trying to make this a one-stop race here in this 100-lapper. I don't know if anybody's going to be crazy enough to try to go the whole race without pitting. Troy Radford's back on pit lane at the number 94 machine.
Yeah, and really curious to see how he stays with it. Is he going to stay in pit lane, or is he going to come back out, because we see Tom Quattlebaum and some of these other guys that just kind of stayed out and haven't come back out. But it looks like he's going to come back, but he's going to drop to 22nd, maybe even 23rd.
All right, so Brian Snare continues to be your leader here at the Michigan International Raceway. Dustin Ping sits in second, Eric Blount third, Dustin German fourth, Chris Wood in the fifth position, Dale Osmond currently runs sixth, Brian Littleton seventh, Steve Baker eighth, Brian Britt ninth, Roy Hyde 10th right now, as we are getting set for a double file restart here. Working lap number 13. Coming up on lap number 34, a special moment of silence in the memory of Samantha Mills, daughter of Doug Wysocki. So that's going to be coming up on lap number 34. So we ask everybody to join us in that moment of silence as we will go dark on lap number 34. It's a great cause for this race, remembering Samantha Mills, supporting hashtag LDA. Some more importance coming up next, or in 2 weeks, coming up on the 27th. It'll be the ALS Association 150. It'll be in Richmond, the night race. That'll be coming up in 2 weeks here on the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series. You're watching us here on LSR TV. You're home for sim racing as we are getting set to go back to green flag racing as our pace truck pulls into the infield. And we are back underway. And look at that start, Joe, that Brian Snare got. But look out below him. He's got Dale Osmond pushing Dustin Ping, or pushing Eric Blount to second right behind him.
Yeah, and these guys, I feel surprised that Brian didn't try and get a faster jump there, but he did get a pretty good start. But at the same time, you had the two on the bottom that just kind of pushed each other and gave himself that draft and that air, just kind of pushed them forward and gave them a lot of position. Oh, and look at that, Alan Pajari just kind of shooting himself back up into the field. He's already at 15th coming back into this race. So real interesting to see how he's going to perform after that second pit stop, and if he can get himself back up in there into that top five.
Like I said, you got pretty much everybody except for that top 5 or 6 that went into the pit area to get fresh rubber and some more gas. So we're going to see them guys make a charge towards the front. Dustin Ping right out front over Brian Snare. Brian Snare, though, right behind him. Taking a look back here is Dale Osmond at the number 88 machine, the Sundrop sponsored machine. It's been forever since I've had a Sundrop. I cannot tell you when the last time I had one of those was. Right in front of him, Steve Baker in 6th. Eric Blount has fell back to the 6th position. Chris Wood up to 4th. Dustin German 3rd. Brian Snare currently running the runner-up spot. So you can see that gap between 1st and 2nd there on the left side of your screen as the battle's starting to shape up back there for 5th between Baker and Blount.
Yeah, Baker and Blount really pushing on each other, trying to get position on one another. But something I want to look at is that Brandon Mefford and Chris Mefford, the battle between those two, that brotherly love going on there. Real curious if they're sharing setups or if there's a little competition going on there, Chris.
Definitely some brotherly love, some family love going on between the Meffords. You always want to be, ahead of your family member. Anytime you're challenging a family member, you always want to be the winner. You got to hold the bragging rights.
Oh, 100%. You can't sit there and be the loser, because then, that's just never fun.
No, losing to a family member is definitely not fun. 3-wide battle back here. A little bit of stretching and snaking around back there down the back straightaway. Osmond there on the bottom of the racetrack. Taking a look here, Brian Littleton. And here's the 83 machine of Brandon Mefford moving around. Roy Hyde there in the 00 machine. He has got the number 80, Brian Littleton, in his sights. There you see Eric Blount back there as well. Taking a look back here at Dale Osmond. Brandon Mefford moving forward pretty quickly there in the number 83 machine. He is up into the 10th spot, trying to get around Dale Osmond there for 9th. As Matthew McMeekin, he's also moved himself up into the 11th position. He started in the back of the pack. He was one of the cars that did not take a qualifying time. So Matthew McMeekin looking himself up towards the front. He's got 1 win on the season, does Matthew McMeekin.
These guys getting real tight up here after that turn over there. So real curious how this is going to shape up. There's going to be the tire wear and whatnot, because that top 10 still has those guys that didn't pit earlier in the race. So their tires are running on 18 laps of just straight flooring it. So I'm excited to see if they can stay up there in that pack.
And look who's back up to the lead. It's Alan Pajari, your pole setter. the winner at Texas Motor Speedway back on May the 14th. He has currently found himself back up front after taking that early pit stop early on in the race. So, man, tell you what, he has got a fast car right now when it is on.
Yeah, and Pajari pulling away right now from that number 2. He's already at a half-second lead over there, and it's just getting more and more. He's just taking off from this group.
Wow, we're good battle here. The 19 machine of Cade Green, 43 machine. Brian Snare, Cade Green working himself up towards the front. Thanks everybody for watching here on LSR TV here on YouTube. Mitchell Snare, yep, a couple of new broadcasters tonight. My name is Chris Nutt alongside Joe Panino. It's been a while since I've called one of these. Oh, look how we got issues back here in the back. Troy Radford got sit down into the down there into the bottom half of the back straightaway. He put himself back up there, back on the racetrack. We're going to stay green, but yeah, my name is Chris Nutt alongside Joe Panino. I've done a couple of these races before earlier on with Wesley Outland and the crew. So we're filling in tonight. Thanks for having us tonight. Like I said, we're not totally used to a lot of these drivers. Now, some of these guys I've been seeing for the first and second time. So thanks for allowing us to be brought into your homes tonight as you watch the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series here on LSR TV. And Joe, you mentioned it. Alan Pajari, he is absolutely rocket shipping out front. 2-second lead already over Cade Green.
Wow, and that's just in one full lap there, Chris. 2 seconds in a lap. I can't imagine what he's going to do if he can keep up this pace.
Set fast time tonight in qualifying, already up towards the front. 2-second lead over Cade Green, 2.5 seconds back to third. Dustin Ping. Now Steve Baker goes to the third spot. We're taking a look here at the battle. This is for 11th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th back here. Good racing back here. There you see Steve Baker leading that pack, the number 55 machine in third. Right behind him, we've got Dustin Ping in that one machine. A lot of close quarters racing here coming out of the back straightaway. Close quarters racing. Any mistake can probably wad up the field right here.
That's for sure. That definitely could take care of that field really fast. So these guys are already 3 wide, 4 wide in certain spots, just kind of getting aggressive, and the tires are starting to wear out. So you can see a couple of them start to wobble. So it's going to be interesting to see if they keep trying to stay this aggressive or if anybody leans off, kind of.
3 wide. Here they come. The 83 machine of Brian Mefford on the bottom of the racetrack. 43 machine Brian Snare. Outside, he has got, I believe that is the 83. No, that is the 01 or 91. Chris Wood right behind him, trying to push him. Kind of hard to see these numbers here. 83. Here comes Brandon Mefford now to the backside of Snare. Near the 84, Chris Mefford trying to come in as well. Stacking them up. Oh, car on the wall. It is the 91 of Chris Wood. Got a little sideways coming out of turn 4, slapped the wall.
Yeah, and they're still staying green here, so didn't do too much, but that's definitely going to hurt him a little bit. Real curious, Cade Green, he's now 3 seconds almost behind Alan Pajari, and then Steve Baker almost 2 full seconds behind him. So the top 3 are really starting to separate from one another.
Yeah, Alan Pajari absolutely just putting a dog stomping on the field right now. 3 seconds ahead of second place, Cade Green. 4 seconds back to second. Third place, Steve Baker. As we take a look here, Brian Snare, this is that battle. Back here for the 5th position, Brandon Mefford, Brian Snare, Troy Radford now making his way back through that 94 machine. Remember Radford just a few laps ago got shuffled down off the back straightaway, had to pull himself back in line. He's worked himself back up to the 6th position. Brian Snare now falling back to 7th, Mefford 8th, Qualabom 9th, and Mud, Damon Cox, he is in that 10th position. Currently working lap number 25. We're a fourth of the way through this Samantha Mills Memorial 200, supporting hashtag LDA. Here's Steve Baker up there in that 3rd spot. Dustin Ping back and forth. He has got Brandon Mefford. Underneath him, Joe Mefford, the whole Mefford family making their way towards the front. Chris, though, got caught up there back in 8th, but Brandon right now, he's holding the line for the Mefford family right now.
You know, and Chris, he's not so much stuck. He's slowly moving up there, now in 7th, and he's closing in on that gap between these guys in front of him. So they're starting to move up in that pack, and who knows, maybe one of them can end up in that top 3 or even in that top 2. Still
got a long ways to go, 74 laps remaining here at Michigan International Raceway here in the Samantha Mills Memorial 200. Supporting hashtag LDA. Don't forget, next or in 2 weeks will be at the Richmond Nighttime Racing, the ALS Association 150. That'll be coming up in 2 weeks here on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. Taking a look at Tom Quattlebaum Jr., number 08 machine, currently sitting in that 8th position right now. Tom Quattlebaum has moved up 19 positions. So he is one of the guys that has moved up absolutely a ton so far in this first 29.7 laps. 19 spots up to 8 for Tom Quattlebaum Jr.
And Cade Green, too. Cade Green's also up 19 spots in that number 19 machine. He's all the way up there in second, starting out at number 21. So these guys are definitely showing that they can get moving and move up to that field.
Like I said, qualifying doesn't matter to some of these guys. They can start in the back. They know they've got a good enough race car to move themselves up towards the front. But speaking of moving themselves up towards the front, man, after that green flag came out after our caution, Alan Pajari is absolutely motored out. Oh, look out! Tom Quattlebaum gets turned by Brian Snare, and we are cautioned here for the second time. Well, you saw that one happening right there in front of your eyes, coming down into turn number 3.
Let's look at it again here. Looks like they started to get a little bit aggressive, and then a little bit of net code there. I mean, nothing really you can do. They got a little bit aggressive and just kind of started blocking one another and just came into some trouble.
So working caution flag number 2 here at the Michigan International Raceway for a caution involving Tom Quattlebaum Jr. Getting the bad end of some net issue there as he was battling with Brian Snare. So a tough break for him, and that's unfortunately going to erase the 4.5 second lead that Alan Pajari had on the field.
That's for sure, and we're going to take another look at it from the chopper view. He just looks like number 8 might have come down a little bit on number 13 there, but I mean, at the same time, you know, these guys are getting aggressive. They're trying to block one another. That doesn't look like he really saw him too much there. Might have thought he had a little bit of room. So, you know, it is what it is. But if we look, down they come in the pit lane. Alan Pajari, looks like it's going to be everyone except for one driver so far.
Brandon Mefford staying out on the racetrack, getting that lead. But, you know, that incident, I don't think there was any avoiding it the way they were snaking back and forth. I think that was just an accident that was going to happen nonetheless.
That's for sure, and nothing you can do. And it looked like Mud, Damon Cox over there, said that he was in the pit exit. Not sure if that was an issue. It looks like that's just them coming into their pit stalls.
So he's going to be the leader off pit road here. He's going to lead this group out of pit road. Looks like Alan Pajari is going to lead the group off pit road. So he's going to fall back into the second place behind Brandon Mefford. Steve Baker coming off pit road in the third. Cade Green, Chris Mefford, Dustin Ping, Brian Snare, Dale Osmond all making it off pit road. Matthew McMeekin and Eric Blount coming out in the 10th position. So this second round of pit stops taking place here. There you see the lone driver that stayed out, the number 83 machine. Brandon Mefford representing Falcon Motorsports. We're driving that ALS Association number 83, and that's who's going to be sponsoring our next race, the ALS Association 150 at Richmond in 2 weeks here on LSR TV for the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series, brought to you by Ohio Indiana Roofing. Good race so far here. I mean, if your name's Alan Pajari, it's a good race. Behind him, it's just been a hornet's nest, a lot of close racing, a little bit of beating and banging back and forth. Our last caution, if you're just joining us, Brian Snare and Tom Quattlebaum Jr. getting together, coming down the bank straightaway into turn number 3, sending Tom Quattlebaum Jr. spinning down the bank straightaway. That is the reason for caution number 2. We've had some long green flag runs here, which is good, because you don't like those races where you have 6, 7 cautions in a row.
That's for sure you don't, but at the same time, I'm interested to see how this all pans out. Tom Quattlebaum Jr. already back out on that track, so he didn't lose too much, but he lost a little bit. But at the same time, I want to see, did he get any repair on his car or anything, or is he still running on some old tires and whatnot? As well as with Brandon Mefford up there being the only one that didn't pit out here. how are his tires going to hold up to some of these guys that took those fresh tires?
Well, we'll find out here on the start. If he gets freight trained, we're going to know that answer pretty quickly.
That is true.
Don't forget, coming here in 3 laps, going to go silent in memory of Samantha Mills on lap number 34. So that's going to be in memory of Samantha Mills. Her father, Doug Wysocki, racing in this event. He is car number 34. So on lap 34, we're going to go silent and just take a pause in memory of Samantha Mills. There you see Samantha's ride. Victory Junction sponsored machine there. Number 34 of Doug Wysocki. So when you see that lap counter hit number 34, that's when you know we're going to take a pause.
Yes, indeed. And these guys getting ready. They're coming up on this start-finish line. So, are they going to be going green here?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Peter, the pace truck driver, pulls into the infield, and we are back underway as Brandon Mefford got a good start there. Cade Green, Alan Pajari, side by side for that second spot behind him. We're going to find out just exactly how strong Brandon Mefford's car is going to be after everybody pitted behind him. And here comes Pajari to the inside. See you later.
Oh, wow. And Pajari just taking off already. He's pushing up there. Steve Baker coming up there in second. But if you see at the bottom, that's going to be... Actually, that is Baker with Dustin Ping. They're just pushing one another up there on the bottom. Taking over Cade Green's spot up there in the top 3. And Pajari still just at a half-second lead and just taking off from this field.
Down the front straightaway through the tri-oval, number 33. Baker gets shuffled up the racetrack just a bit. Dustin Ping now back to the inside. He'll take that second spot away from Steve Baker as they move out of turn number 1 and 2. So go single file down the back straightaway. Blount now to the inside of Snare, down the back straightaway. Now to turn down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Working lap number 33. Alan Pajari continues to lead. Steve Baker back there behind him in the 3rd spot. Dustin Ping in 2nd. With that, it's coming up on lap 34. We're going to take a moment of silence in memory of Samantha Mills. All right, with that, we are back here on LSR TV. A moment of silence in memory of Samantha Mills. While this was going on, Dustin Ping took the lead away from Alan Pajari. Pajari's going to fight back now to the inside, down the back straightaway. Into turn number 3, he'll take the lead back in that big gut number 5 machine. As Dustin Ping falls back into that 2nd spot, Steve Baker's got Cade Green to the inside. Behind them, he had to fall back there, and now right behind him as he single file out down the front straightaway, working lap number 36 out of 100 here at the Michigan International Raceway. We'll see if Dustin Ping can look to the inside, Joe, into 1.
That's what it's looking like. Dustin Ping's gonna take that inside line, but it looks like Pajari's actually gonna get him on there on that outside line. So these guys are just neck and neck battling for that 1st and 2nd spots. So this is getting real interesting.
Dustin Ping now back to the inside of Alan Pajari. That's for the point. They make a little bit of contact almost, looks like. That shoved Pajari up the racetrack just a tad as they go down the front straightaway into the tri-oval. Into turn number 1 and 2. Almost a dead heat at the line. Pajari and Ping still door-to-door into turn number 1. Great battle for the lead here.
Wow, just 0.04 of a second there. These guys are just battling and just pulling away from the field as well. But you see that field, they actually got a good pack, and they might be able to catch up if they can stay in that draft and really close up that gap.
Alan Pajari 0.1 seconds. The advantage now over Dustin Ping. So we're working down out of turn number 3 and 4 down the tri-oval, completing lap number 38. For those of you just joining us, Alan Pajari was your pole setter. He's dropped off the pace early and pitted right around lap 3 or 4. And he stormed through the field in a hurry after our first caution flag. Ended up taking the lead. He tore out to about a 4.5 second lead before another caution flag. We've worked 2 cautions so far on the day here at Michigan, so that means a lot of green flag racing. So we've had a pretty good race going on behind the leaders. There you see Steve Baker in that 3rd spot. Behind him, Chris Mefford in the 84 machine. Here comes Blount now to the inside of Cade Green. Just a little bit ago, Cade Green was battling for 2nd. Now he's back there into the 7th spot.
Yeah, and you see you got Brian Snare there on the 43 machine. He's pushing his way up there in that field as well. But these guys pushing 3 wide right here, they're getting aggressive, and it looks like Brian might have had a little bit of a slide there and a little bit of a wobble coming from some of them. Not sure if they're going to be able to keep this clean and straight here, Chris. These guys are getting real bumpy, and it's interesting to see who's gonna hold their line and who's gonna be the one to make that slight mistake.
Comes Eric Blount now to the inside and trying to get that 4th spot away from Baker. Has to fall in behind Baker, though, looking to the inside of Mefford. And here comes Cade Green back. He's going to make it 3 wide between he, Blount, and Snare. Green on the bottom, Blount on the inside, Snare on the outside as they roll out of turn number 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. They still stay clean and green. Down the back stretch they go. Good battle back here. That is 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. You don't want to grandma's baby blankets over those guys down the back stretch.
Wow, you can see this pack of everyone except for from 3rd through 8th place right there, just pushing and being extremely aggressive on one another. And that's a good pack, and that group is just staying steady and staying clean and having no issues, it looks like.
Great battle back here once again. That is the battle right there. You see that is Blount in the 6th machine, and Mefford right in front of him in the 3rd position. That is 3rd on back. The top 2 cars are 2.8 seconds ahead of this battle. Pajari and Ping, they have completely separated themselves from the field. Taking a look at Dale Osmond, he's worked himself up into 7th. Steve Baker in that 6th position. Brian Littleton in that 80 machine currently runs in the 5th spot, working lap number 41 out of 100 here at the Michigan International Raceway. This is the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series, brought to you by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. It is the Samantha Mills Memorial 200, supporting hashtag LDA, a special cause. We took a moment of silence on lap 34 in memory of Samantha Mills, daughter of Doug Wysocki, driver of the number 34 machine. Here they come down in the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. Steve Baker trying to hold off Osmond. This is some great back and forth battling, Joe.
Yeah, that's for sure. Osmond, he's coming up there. They're battling. They're pushing at one another. Real interesting to look at this top 2, though. You got Alan Pajari and Dustin Ping. There's about a half-second gap there, and then the rest of the field is just 3 seconds behind them. So these top 2 are just taken away from the rest of this pack right now.
As you see him snaking out of the back straightaway down into turn number 3 and 4. That battle right there, that is the 80 machine of Littleton, still battling with Osmond in that 88 machine. Right behind them, almost some 3-wide action there. There is Steve Baker in that 55 trying to hold off Cade Green. Cade Green's been so back and forth. He was up to 3rd. He got shuffled back to 7th, moved up again, and now he's back into the 9th spot. Brian Snare back in 10th. Behind him, here comes the 94 Troy Radford. He had some problems earlier on the race as he got shoved off the back straightaway, had to pull himself back in line.
And he's coming right back up there into that field, and this from 3rd through 13th place. Oh, and there's some trouble there.
Got caution. Caution is out on the racetrack. It is Chris Mefford. Got him turned around there on the number 84 machine. So the caution is out for the 3rd time here at Michigan International Raceway, and that's going to close the gap back up. Alan Pajari up front, Dustin Ping, they were enjoying that 3.5 second advantage, but not anymore, as our 3rd caution of the day has came out, as Chris Mefford got turned around there going down the back straightaway. So caution 3. We'll see if anybody else takes the opportunity to go to pit road, as we were looking at a 75% fuel load. 4+1 on the tires on this daytime race. Started at 2 o'clock, virtual Michigan time. So you know this track is hot and it's burning up tires pretty good.
That's for sure. And these guys, if some drivers like Alan Pajari, they might be on their 3rd set of tires already. So with 55 laps still to go in this race, I'm interested to see that if they're going to continue to just come in and take tires, or when they're gonna, what their strategy is gonna be for the rest of this race, Chris.
Not sure if our camera caught that accident between Chris Mefford. Hopefully we'll be able to catch a replay on that. Everybody going to pit road right now, so while that's happening, we're going to queue up our instant replay and show you exactly what happened with Chris Mefford. Here we go. We'll check it out. As he is battling with Osmond, they made some contact out of turn number 2, and he just shuffled up into the wall, clipped him, and he got the 80 of Middleton as well.
And let's take another look at that. I don't even think that there was any contact there. I think it looked like Mefford just kind of got a little bit wobbly coming up there and just lost control.
All right, you saw him coming back down the racetrack after tagging that the wall there. You can see Chris Mefford there on the high side of the racetrack. A little bit of contact, got squirrely, and ended up collecting the 80 on the way down. So that's bringing out our 3rd caution of the race here at the Michigan International Raceway. Once again, it did collect Littleton as well. So coming up on halfway, working lap number 46 out of 100. So with that, we're going to take a break here at LSR TV. You're watching the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series, brought to you by Ohio Indiana Roofing. We'll be back with more here on LSR TV, your home for sim racing.
They say everything is bigger. These guys down in Texas aren't messing around. This feature race will separate the boys from the men, the girls from the ladies. Can you handle racing 300 laps for $25,000? It's not as easy as you think. We don't stop to tow those too weak. We just push them out of the way. We don't run 20 laps. We run 300 each night. We don't care about what you and your boys have under the hood. Bring all you got. Don't be scared. Call my Cowboy Jack today to get signed up. It all goes down on October 2nd and 3rd in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Kenny Wallace is coming back this year to try again. You don't have excuses. Go to LoneStar600.com now.
Welcome back here on LSR TV. Live sim racing here from Michigan International Raceway. It is the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series, brought to you by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. The Samantha Mills Memorial 200 supporting hashtag LDA. Chris Nunn alongside Joe. Don't call me Panini Panino. Live, not from Panera Bread, right, Joe?
That's for sure. Definitely not from Panera Bread, although I wish that I was from Panera Bread with a gift card right now.
That's a whole lot of peas in one sentence, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, indeed. So, pace car, lights are off here. So, these guys are getting ready to go green. So, let's see what happens here. If Steve Baker, your points leader, is he going to be able to hold this lead coming out of the pits on this caution? Or is Alan Pajari going to continue to take control of this and just take off and take that lead right back?
Tough break once again for second place in points. Brian Littleton getting caught up in that caution flag as he's going to have to restart back there in the 14th position. We are green flag racing once again here at Michigan. Working lap 48 out of 100. Steve Baker currently out front. Cade Green, Alan Pajari in that 3rd spot. We're going to keep an eye and see how fast it's going to take for Alan Pajari to move himself up towards front. He has had the absolute fastest car on the racetrack this whole night. Look at that move coming out of turn number 2 down to the inside. Thought he got a little sideways there as he works behind Cade Green now, as he's got Snare to the outside of him, and Blount and Green duking it out in front of him double wide. But here comes Dustin Ping now for the lead underneath Baker.
Wow, and Payne just getting a really good jump there on Baker and starting to take off from that, but it looks like the group is right behind him is going to stay with him. This top 5 is staying pretty tight so far, so excited to see if they can hold it there and if they can keep it clean. Some real big and aggressive racers up here. Steve Baker, your points leader, he's going to be up there sitting in the number 4 spot, so can he keep himself up there and maybe even take a podium here?
Going to find out. Still got a long way to go. Coming up here on halfway here at Michigan International Raceway, working lap number 49. Dustin Payne, currently Eric Blount, Brian Snare. Dustin German has worked himself back up now to that 4th position as we work out of turn number 3 and 4. Coming to halfway here. Lap 50 out of 100. Look at Osmond running below the yellow line there, or the white line underneath Steve Baker, going to that 5th position. Dale Osmond coming off a 4th place run last week at Rockingham. Colin Allman was the winner last week. Not here tonight. Littleman, Baker, Osmond, Mefford, and Miskell, everybody in the top 10 were there last week except for your winner, Colin Allman.
Yeah, and you were surprised not to see Colin Allman in this race, but Steve Baker winning 2 weeks ago and Brian Littleton winning the week before that. So some of these guys that are up there in this race are still some winners on this, and they're definitely battling for these points. Steve Baker being in first, he only has 1 win right now versus Littleton with 2, and these guys are neck and neck. So really curious to see how this pans out, especially with the season coming to an end.
Yeah, Colin Allman, you're just picking and choosing, where he's been racing. He's only raced 2 races this season so far, so he's 1 for 2. Oh, we got a caution now. It is Pajari bringing out the caution. Bringing out an incident here. Wow, what a change in events this is going to be here as we are working caution number 4. And it is for our race dominator, Alan Pajari. Going to take a look to see exactly what happened as he got caught up back there with Doug Wysocki here. Oh, wow.
Wow, it looks like Wysocki might have just lost control there, or maybe Pajari maybe bumped him a little bit. Can't really tell there. Maybe we can get another view on that, but that looked pretty rough. That was pretty quick that Wysocki just kind of flew up into the wall, so they were right door to door there. Looks like maybe some net code?
Yeah, it looks like the 34 kind of got a little loose, came up on the 5 machine of Alan Pajari, and they just sent both those cars right into the wall. We'll see if Pajari and Wysocki, here's the chopper cam here. We'll see if the 34 gets a little loose right there. They made a little contact coming in into the turn, and that sent the 34 into the 5 machine, and both those cars, heavy damage into the wall. We'll see what kind of repairs Wysocki and Pajari can make here, as they are now officially 1 lap down now.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting. Pajari, who's led almost all of this lap, all of this race, he's a lap down, but you see a couple of these guys going to the pit lane here, so he might even be able to get some time back, depending on how long this race is going to be, and if there's any more cautions. But now he's going to be at 2 laps down, so they're really struggling here.
Is that BJ, our producer, coming in? I could not quite hear what you said, BJ. All right, that'll work. Yeah, I got like one race broadcaster one ear, and then the producer in the other. It makes for a lot of jumbled up noises here in a headset. Dustin Payne, currently your leader. Eric Blount second. Brian Snare in that 3rd spot. Dustin German 4th. Dale Osmond 5th. As now we have got a brand new race here at Michigan International Raceway, as early race dominator Alan Pajari has just been involved in an incident with Doug Wysocki on lap number 51 here at Michigan. And man, this is going to bring this race to a whole new complexion.
That it is, but we look at some of these guys that are still up there: Brian Snare, Dustin German, Roy Hyde. Some of these guys that are up there in the points that are really still pushing for that top 5 and staying aggressive with one another. So it's real interested to see is there going to be another caution, or is this race going to get a good green flag run?
Hopefully we can stay clean and green the rest of the way here at Michigan International Raceway. We still have 47 laps remaining here in this one. And, I can't, it's not an impossibility to go 47 laps from green to checkered. So we'll see what can happen here as we complete lap number 54 here under caution. Don't forget, 2 weeks will be the next broadcast for the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series, brought to you by Ohio Indiana Roofing. It'll be the ALS Association 150 coming to you live from Richmond. It'll be into the night race. That's right, 150 miler, the ALS Association 150 from Richmond, the night race, right here on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. LiveSimRacing.com. Chris Nutt alongside Joe Panino, BJ Duvall handling the broadcasting production duties tonight. He was he was going to be the lead broadcaster, but didn't want to show everybody up, so he said, "Hey, I'm just going to produce." So, that's what happens when you're a jack of all trades like BJ Duvall.
And that is for sure BJ Duvall, definitely a jack of trades here. He's a great racer. He runs his own motorsport team, as well as he is our great producer tonight, doing all the behind-the-scenes work. So huge props to him with LSR TV. But these guys look like they're getting ready to go green pretty soon. So let's see what happens. What do you think is going to happen here, Chris? You think Dustin Pink's going to be able to hold that lead, or do you think any of these guys are going to jump up?
Other than Alan Pajari, Dustin Ping has had the most consistently fast car throughout this race. So we're going to see exactly what happens here as Dustin Ping out front all by himself here on this restart. Got a good jump there coming out of turn number 4. And he will lead the pack here into turn number 1 and 2. He's got Blount and Snare running side by side behind him. Dale Osmond trying to make a way underneath both of those guys. Almost tried to make it 3 wide there going into turn number 1. He'll settle back there behind Snare. He decided to safely tuck in behind instead of making it 3 wide. As now they're going to try to fan out. Oh, heavy contact coming out of turn 2. We've got cars everywhere. The 08 machine of Qualibom. One of the cars involved. I believe Walters as well. Caudill.
Abe Green was involved in that wreck, it looked like, as well.
Find out here exactly what happened on your replay. Taking a look here. We are focused on the 9 machine of Caudill. Heavy contact. Caudill in the 9, Qualibom in the 8 machine.
Wow. Just 6, 7 cars there just getting run into that and really having nowhere to go there, Chris. That was a little bit rough. I mean, it looks like the number 9, he might have had the 57 come up on him. He might have come down a little bit on him. But they just kind of brushed each other, and almost the exact same thing that we saw happen on that last caution.
So it looks like Caudill, Qualibom, Damon Cox involved as well. Looks like Alan Pajari's back on pit road, as is Caudill, Qualibom, and Damon Cox involved on pit road. We are working caution flag number 5 here at Michigan International Raceway. We were hoping that we could get a long green flag run in, but just a couple laps later, we are under yellow. Had a pretty good battle going on behind your leader between Snare, Blount, and Osmond, as I thought Osmond was going to take him 3 wide there to start out.
Yeah, they definitely looked like they were about to go 3 wide there, Chris, but looks like they kind of wised up a little bit in some parts of it, but it is what it is. I mean, if they're going to get aggressive, that's what's going to happen. You're going to see more cautions come out.
We'll find out exactly what's going to happen here as we currently sit on lap number 57 of 100 here at Michigan International Raceway. It is the Samantha Mills Memorial 200. So, man, wow. Hard contact between these guys. So, we'll see what happens here. We still got 43 laps remaining here. Ping, Snare, Blount, Osmond, German, your top 5. Hyde, Britt, Littleton, Mefford, Wood, your top 10. See if Payne can have a fast car to take us to the finish. I'd say he's been one of the more consistently fast cars all day long.
That's for sure he has, and these guys looks like they're going to come around maybe one more time after this time around. So, real interested to see. We have 15, possibly 16 cars, maybe even 17 cars still on this lead lap and fighting for that top spot. So, you'll see Josh Caudill, he's out of the race now. And Alan Pajari, our leader real early in this race, he's now 5 laps down.
Yeah, tough break for him as he currently sits 5 laps down. Pajari Wysocki also 5 laps down. He is out of this one. Josh Caudell also listed as out. So currently it looks like we have 17 cars on the lead lap at the moment. He's currently still working our caution flag, our 5th caution of the race here at Michigan International Raceway. It's been a good one so far up front, hoping behind your leaders. I mean, if you're back there in the pack, seems like everybody that's gotten out to the lead has been pretty much just out dominating before these caution flags. Ping, not sure, he hasn't been out front by himself yet. He's been battling with Pajari for most of the race, so I'm hoping to see a long green flag run just to see how strong Dustin Ping's car is.
Yeah, I am too here, Chris. I really want to see a long green flag stretch with these guys and see how these guys set up their cars for these last 40 laps of this race.
Get them lined up for the restart here. Dustin Ping, Brian Snare in 1 and 2, Dale Osmond 3rd, Eric Blount 4th, Dustin German in that 5th position. Roy Hyde, Brian Britt, Brian Littleton, Chris Wood, Brandon Mefford. Rounding out your top 10, 58 laps in out of 100. 42 remain here at Michigan International Raceway. Coming up 2 weeks, ALS Association 150 for Richmond. It's the night race. Always got to love a good night race on a short track like Richmond.
That's for sure. Night races are always my favorite here, Chris. I would much rather have a night race than a race during the day. I mean, it just sets the mood, you know? It's more suspense with the night race.
Yeah, nighttime racing. I always love a mood of nighttime racing. You don't have to sit out there in the hot sun. You can just relax. Temperatures are always good. Track temperatures are down, and that conduces to some better racing, in my opinion.
Yes, indeed. And these guys getting ready to go, and Dustin Ping is going to take off from this field, getting a pretty good jump there.
Ping's had one of the fastest cars all day long. Behind him, Blount out of the inside, trying to get around Snare. They have also got Dustin German and Dale Osmond running side by side behind him. As the green flag is out, here's they work through turns number 1 and 2. Leader out by himself. Double file back there, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And Roy Hyde, haven't talked much about him. He's always been one of those drivers, starts in the back and meticulously works himself up towards the front. And that's exactly what he is doing today here at Michigan.
And the thing with Roy Hyde, he's 3rd in the point standings, so he's definitely a driver that works his way up there. He's got 4 top 5 placings this season, so interesting to see him working his way into that top 5 right now. And can he hold it, and can he even get a win in this race possibly?
Yeah, it's like I said, he's one of those guys that just sits back, bides his time, and then you are talking about him throughout the last part of the race. And my goodness, here he is in 6th position. But they're all now starting to fan out just a bit. Dustin Ping still out front, single file now. Blount to the inside, back around Roy Hyde. That's for the 5th spot. Dale Osmond currently sits in front of him, as Hyde still fighting back to the outside of Blount as they roll through the tri-oval here. Taking a look on board of Roy Hyde. Take a look at exactly what he sees. There you see that telemetry there on the dashboard there. Taking a look at exactly how they work the wheel here in these machines.
Yeah, and I always love these cameras inside the car. You can see just how close these guys get to, like, look how close he is to this wall. These guys are just, they know how to control these cars so well, and it's amazing to see, and just awesome to just see these guys just get so aggressive and so right up on one another.
So appreciate everybody watching tonight's racing here on LSR TV. Appreciate a lot of the input you guys are giving us as far as sound goes. Hopefully we get everything fine-tuned and where you can hear everything, cars and all the ambiance. As Osmond, he got to the inside there on the tri-oval. He's worked himself up into that 3rd spot. Dustin German 4th, Roy Hyde. We were just on board with him just a bit ago. He has worked himself up to 5th. Look out, they're snaking back and forth down the back straightaway. As Hyde, now it's to the inside of German.
You know, that might have set up Hyde for a pretty good push here. He's going to be in 4th, it looks like now, after Eric Blount just kind of got a little loose there and just gave him position, and Hyde just took advantage. He's still pushing up there. He wants to get himself into that top 3.
Down the front stretch they go. Dustin Payne, Brian Snare, and Al Osmond still sitting first, second, and third. Roy Hyde taking a look out his rear end. A double zero machine looking back there at Troy Radford, who's now moved himself up into the fifth position. You got around Eric Blount. Dustin German also falling backwards as well. Littleton, Wood, and Britt rounding out the top 10. Taking a look at them coming at you here. To turn number 3. We're going to take a look as they come around here. We're going to let you hear some of the sights and sounds. As Wesley Outland would say, we're going to let you feel the thunder here on LSR TV. All right, there you were. We were kicking the asphalt here on LSR TV. And wow, Brian Snare got way sideways coming out of turn 4. He's going to lose a lot of real estate as he gets shuffled back into the 8th position. Roy Hyde, Troy Radford now up to that 2nd spot. Roy Hyde 3rd. Osmond, Blount, and Middleton. Well, a lot of action going on there while we were kicking asphalt there.
Yeah, and Dustin Payne and Troy Radford up there in the top 2. Roy Hyde in 3rd. These guys just really showing that they know how to set up these cars properly for this open setup race, and only 33 laps left to go, so these guys are really pushing it, and they might just stay clean the rest of this way. They're having a nice green flag stretch here, Chris.
Well, let's not talk about the no-hitter just yet. We're gonna cross our fingers and hope they can go clean and green the rest of the way. Payne, Radford, and Hyde currently still in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Dale Osmond in the 4th spot. Top 5 cars spreading out now as we go down that back straightaway here. A little bit of a drafting practice down the backstretch here. See if Radford can close the gap on Dustin Payne as they go into turn number 3 and 4. As like I said, looks like Radford's closing in just a bit.
You can see Radford, he's kind of sliding up the track a little bit too, so interesting to see how his tires are. He is closing in on Dustin Payne though in that draft, but Roy Hyde and Dale Osborne kind of giving up about a 1/3 of a second there to the top 2, so not really sure if these guys can get that and pick that up a little bit more and maybe close that top field, but right now Dustin Payne is just taking off.
Well, Dale Osmond, the fastest car on the racetrack that last time around, 39.58. So keep an eye on that number 88 machine. He is the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Roy Hyde sitting back there in the 4th spot, losing some ground. Take a look at the lap times. There's a battle back here. Blount and Littleton. Take a look at the lap times this time around. Osmond still the fastest car on the racetrack, 39.84. The time for Osmond. So he's going to be the car we keep our eye on here as he is closing in on those top 2.
Wow, you just see Osmond, he's just up there taking off, and then Dustin Payne is just behind him as well in that 39-second lap. So those two are definitely just running up the field. And Roy Hyde too, he's kind of still slowly creeping back in, but he fell off a little bit, so I don't know if maybe he lost it a little bit and just kind of got a wobble or what, but that top three now starting to close up.
Here they come. Radford out of the inside of Ping. He'll take the lead. Here comes Osborne now. He's going to try to work himself inside as well. Top three cars running right there nose to tail. Roy Hyde right back there in as well. Here comes Ping now. Back to the inside of Radford. Down into turn number 3. Osborne now to the inside. Trying to make a move. Had to poke back out now to the outside. As Ping takes the lead back out of turn number 3. But man, look out. Here comes Radford fighting back to the outside.
Man, and these guys are neck and neck, and they're just pushing one another. You got, looks like that's going to be Dale Osborne. He's just going to be pushing Radford up on that track, and these guys are just getting a lot of speed and just kind of taking off of the rest of the field. A whole 2.5 second lead now between number 4 and number 5 on that leaderboard. So this is getting to be real interesting. Dustin Ping dropping back to 4th now, Chris.
Ping has fell back to 4th, got lost out of that shuffle there, down the back straightaway into turn number 3 and 4. Radford, 0.2 of a second lead now over Osborne as they roll out of turn number 3 and 4 down the triangle. We'll take a look at these lap times here, see who's fastest this lap time around as Dustin Ping's in the pits. Dustin Ping is ducked down onto pit lane. Maybe a late race strategy decision here as Dustin Ping takes the pit road. Does Brian Britt, Brian Snare, Cade Green all pitting as well. Quattlebaum, Cox, Pajari also in the pits as well.
You know, and I'm curious if this is just a strategy that they have set up. Maybe they don't think they're going to get another caution. So, or maybe they do think they're going to get a caution and get a chance to get themselves moved up when everyone else tries to pit then. So, interesting to see how this pans out and if this benefits any of them.
So a lot of time left, 27 laps remain, now 26 to go here at Michigan International Raceway, the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series, brought to you by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. It is the Samantha Mills Memorial 200 supporting hashtag LDA. Chris Nunn alongside Joe Panino, BJ Duvall in the production booth tonight. And we thank each and every one of you for joining us as we are looking right now at the battle for the lead as Dale Osborne looks to the inside of Radford into turn number 3 and 4. And he just cannot make any momentum on the bottom side to get underneath Radford.
Oh, but I wouldn't say that too quick. It looks like he's gaining a little bit on him there. He might be able to get something here on this next turn.
He went below the white line there down the tri-oval to try to make up some kind of momentum, but here comes Roy Hyde now to the outside, trying to make it a three-way dance for the top spot as they roll out of turn number 1 and 2. It is still Radford, Osborne, and Hyde out of 2 down that long back straightaway here at this 2-mile Michigan International Raceway. Radford, Osborne, and Hyde currently 3 seconds ahead of 4th place Brian Littleton. Justin Walters now going to pit lane as well. As you see those pit stops that put Ping, Britt, German, Snare, Green, and McMeekin all a lap down as Radford now goes to the pits.
Here's something to keep in mind, Chris. These guys that are in the top 3 now, Osborne, Hyde, and Blount, their last pit lap was lap number 45. So some of these guys are running on some pretty old tires, and that might hurt them coming into the end of this race.
Yeah, Osborne, he last pitted on lap 45, as did Roy Hyde. He pitted on lap 45. Eric Blount pitted on 45. Travis Smith, he pitted on 56. So a lot of these guys running on some older tires. Dale Osborne out front now. Dustin Ping is about to get his lap back. So we might see the strategy work out as Dustin Ping goes back on the lead lap.
Yeah, Dustin Ping getting himself back onto that lead lap, and that time between the gap between him and the leaders is just dwindling down here. But he might be able to get himself right back into this race. You know, it's only 39 seconds between him and the leader, and that leader still has not pit since lap 45, so his tires are fresh.
Taking a look, Dustin Ping trying to make his way back around the racetrack, currently sitting in the 8th position. Chris Wood in the pits. Roy Hyde went pit side. Steve Baker pit side. Chris Wood pit side. As keep an eye, Osborne still has not went to the pits. He is known to take some gambles is Mr. Osborne. We're going to see exactly just what kind of gambler he is, as right behind him, I believe that is Radford trying to get his lap back as well. Yes, he does. So currently top 5 cars on the lead lap at the moment. Roy Hyde, the last car a lap down, currently running in the 6th position. Eric Blount, he and Osborne, the only 2 cars left that have not pitted since lap 56, along with Ray Radford.
That's for sure. And Dustin Payne, he's now in 4th.
Now Blount's going pit side. Blount just went pit side. So Osborne is the last man standing from those drivers that have not pitted since lap 45. Coming up on 20 laps to go here, as it looks like Roy Hyde is going to get his lap back here. It's going to be an exciting 20-lap shootout here coming up in Michigan.
Yeah, these guys that are in that top 5, they're just still pushing on one another and just trying to get their laps back and get that time to close up that gap. But Osborne, he's gonna need to pit. I don't think he even has enough fuel to make it through this race.
So Ray Radford, he pitted last on lap 56, so he has 9 laps fresher tires on Dale Osborne's machine, as he pitted on lap 45. Radford pitted on 56. So Radford just sitting back there. Say that again, BJ. Ray Radford is the lone Toyota here in this race right now, but he's being the little engine that could for the Toyotas. Dale Osborne, still not pitting, currently sitting up there in the top spot, currently working 35 laps on those tires and fuel. Still plugging along is Mr. Osborne, but Payne, Radford, and Hyde trying to play catch-up here. As you can see on the right side of the pylon, as that's the gap, it is slowing or getting closer just by the 10th, looks like.
Yeah, and Osborne's still holding a pretty steady pace with what he's on, so with only 19 laps left to go in this race, I'm real curious to see if they even have enough time to catch him, if he can stay out in this race.
Currently running lap times 40.1 last time around for Dale Osborne. We'll see what he runs this time around, 40.27. Last time around, Radford was a 41.4, Dustin Payne 39.1, Troy Radford 39.0, and Roy Hyde 38.8. So you can see exactly how good those new tires are for those drivers, as it looks like got another car trying to get a lap back. I believe that is, can't wait to see that car, the 05 machine. That is Brian Britt, trying to put himself back onto the lead lap as well.
Yeah, Britt getting his lap back here from Osborne and the rest of the field, so he's going to be able to get himself right back into that top 6, but my question is, does he even have anywhere near enough time to get into that top 5 or top 3 maybe?
Another question I have, does Radford or does Osborne have enough of a cushion over Radford in second, 27 seconds, to safely make a pit stop and get back onto the racetrack and not lose a lot of ground to those guys?
He might not lose a lot, but he's definitely going to lose some position with that. So, I mean, the real thing is going to be, does Osborne need to pit? Or does he have enough fuel, and is he comfortable with his tires that he could stay out this last part of the race?
He can make it on fuel. That's what we're hearing from the pits. He can make it on fuel, but it is tires. That is what we're looking for, tires right now, to see if that's going to wear out. Ray Radford, Troy Radford, Dustin Payne, Roy Hyde, and Brian Britt, the last 6 cars on the lead lap. So fuel not an issue for Dale Osborne. That's the thing. So will the tires hold for the next 16 laps? We're going to find out.
That we will.
Also, another thing we got to take in consideration, well, we have another caution flag in the 16 laps. That's another thing that Dale Osborne has to worry about, because if we get a caution, he's got to be a sitting duck on those old tires.
Oh, that's for sure. And then he has the ultimate decision of does he pit? And in my opinion, I would think he needs to pit at that point and get those fresh tires. But at the same time, if you pit, you're going to lose so much space upon the rest of the field.
Here you see Brian Littleton and Travis Smith, the next cars to go to get their laps back here, and Blount and Mefford all behind them as well. So we're about to have more cars getting put on the lead lap as Osborne is, tell you what, 40.1 second the last time by. Looks like he's going to take it pit side. He's slowing down. Is he going to go to the pits? Yes, he is. He's taking it pit side.
Ray Radford in the pits as well. So these guys going down there. And Osmond, he's still got that lead there. He's almost at his pit stall.
We'll see exactly how much room he has here. We're going to keep an eye on that gap back from first to second. As you can see, Troy Radford, I believe they're coming out of turn number 1 and 2. Yes, they are. Down, or no, coming out of 3 and 4, excuse me. As we roll down the tri-oval here. As, tell you what, I believe...
He's on the exit.
He's on the exit.
Out of pit.
He's not going to quite make up enough time. There you see him flying by. The battle for the lead now. It's going to get good here with 14 to go. Roy Hyde, now your new leader here at Michigan. Troy Radford in second. Dustin Ping in third. Osmond comes out in the 4th spot. He's going to have Eric Blount closing on him very, very quickly. Osmond going from the lead, now 6 seconds behind, now in 4th.
These guys, it's only a 1/10 of a second, 2/10 of a second now that separate that first and second place spot, and Dustin Ping really is not far behind them either. So this is going to be a shootout for this finish here, Chris. These guys are just going to be real close, and this might be a real exciting finish that we get here.
You know, we were talking earlier, we noted that Osmond can make it on fuel, but it was going to be a matter of how long the tires could hold up. Right now, it looked like it might have been like he was feeling on ice skates the way he was going through those corners. That might be, he might have had enough of that.
Yeah, that's for sure, and that can get a little bit sketchy there too. You might slide a little bit and be worried because you get yourself into a small wreck on a car that's trying to get a lap back, and you just lost your entire race. Where now he went in when he did. He's only 6 seconds back, so with 12 laps still to go, he might have a shot to even get himself back into this top 30.
12 laps to decided here at Michigan International Raceway. Chris Nutt alongside Joe Panino, BJ DeVall in the production trailer tonight here on LSR TV, your home for sim racing at livesimracing.com. Roy Hyde holds a 0.3 of a second lead over Troy Radford. We've had 5 cautions here today to slow this race down just a tick. And tell you what, Alan Pajari was your pole setter. Fell back a little bit, had to pit. He pitted 3 laps in, came back and was absolutely dominating the race. 4.5 seconds was his lead. He got caught in a caution with Doug Wysocki. Osmond running 1 second faster right now than Hyde, as we're taking a look at some of these times as that last time around. 38.9 to 39.9 that last time around. He's coming. 4.5 seconds now. Osmond trying to catch the group back here, but there's only 11 to go.
Yeah, there's only 11 to go, but with 11 seconds, he's only at 4 seconds back, so he might be able to get himself into that top 3. He's getting real aggressive now. He's making all the right decisions, and Osmond is closing that gap very quickly.
He's got 9 laps fresher on those tires as Osmond. He pitted on lap 85. Hyde pitted on lap number 76. Check out the laps time around. It was 38.9, 40.0. So Osmond coming quickly. 10 laps to go. It's going to be a nail biter here at the end of this one, as Troy Radford now is right there on Roy Hyde's bumper as we roll out of turn number 3 and 4. Out of turn, that's right, over they come. This is going to get good here. There you see Osmond back there coming out of turn 4.
Osmond coming out of 4. He's already got that down to 2.8 seconds from the lead. Dustin Ping, he's going to be the one with the oldest tires out there, though. He pitted at lap 72. So Ping, he's about to lose that spot here to Osmond, and he's going to drop out of that top 3.
Roy Hyde fastest, or not that time by, excuse me, Dell Osmond 39.0. Roy Hyde 40.02 the last time around. Osmond up to the 3rd spot, 2.3 seconds behind, and you can see that gap closing ever so quickly. But Roy Hyde has got Troy Radford just a 1/10 of a second behind him. Look at that line that Osmond runs down there below the white line on the tri-oval, drifts it back up to the high side in turn number 1. We are down to 2 seconds separating 1st and 3rd with 8 to go.
Wow, that's just way fast. We just saw he was out just what was it, a lap ago? He was at 3 seconds, so to knock down a whole second, he's just flooring it past these guys, and he's one set. It looks like that might have been one of the fastest laps in the entire race currently. Yeah, that is the fastest lap that's out there. So Osman is setting himself up for a good finish here.
39.2 last time around, 1.1 second. Now the gap separating first and third. Roy Hyde better get it in gear if he's got anything left in that 00 machine. Radford, they're going to start to play blocker here. As you can see them now, they're rolling the same screen as Radford got a little sideways. Down the backstretch, Osman flying. Here he comes, less than a second now. Separate first and third.
And coming up on 7 laps here to go, 6 laps here to go. So Osman, he's not even just at a half second now. He's going to be able to take this lead from these guys, it looks like.
He is absolutely catching them as quick as he can. Half second now, the gap between first and third. Look how fast he is closing that gap between Hyde and Bradford. Osman on the charge. They're running the low side in front of him. We'll see what he's got out of turn number 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. Here they come. It's Hyde up front. Bradford, the meat and the sandwich there down the back straightaway. Osman going to now deduct to the low side. Maybe. No, he'll stay in line. He'll stick behind Radford there, trying to make a move down the triangle. The triangle seems to be where he's fastest here. As he gets down below that white line, he'll tuck in behind Radford. He'll try to get around the high side. He fooled me there. I thought he was going to go to the low side. Below the gap. 5 to go here at Michigan International Raceway. 3 radiants for the lead. Out of turn number 1 and 2 they come. Joe, we're about to see a classic finish here, I think.
Yeah, this is turning out to be a great final stretch here in these last 5 laps. These guys are at 3. Osman jumping into second now in front of Radford. And he's going to get in front of Hyde too there. He's going to take that lead right here. And Osman's just slowly separating himself now.
Coming from 6th after a pit stop, up to the lead. Man, in less than 10 laps, he pit on lap 85. 10 laps later, he has made up a lot of ground. He was in 6th place when he came out of the pits. He's already back up to the front. And I believe it's as fresh as these tires are, you can kiss him goodbye. But Roy Hyde there, he made up a little bit of a ground. He's got a draft on Osman, but Osman now is starting to pull away out of turn number 1 and 2. So something's got to happen here for Osman to lose this race, I think. It's his to lose right now.
That's for sure it is. And it looks like Roy Hyde, he's going to have a little bit of an advantage there on the straightaways, but when you're coming around the corners, it looks like Osman that's where he's making his time back. So this is looking pretty even, but Hyde is slowly gaining himself back in there, it looks like.
Take a look at the lap times this time. Almost identical laps. 40.09 for Hyde, 40.01 for Osman. Almost some identical lap times there as they come across lap 97. Working lap number 97 here out of 100. Coming down to the nitty-gritty here at Michigan International Raceway. Hyde to the outside, try to snake his way through. He's going to try to make a move now back to the bottom. 2/10 of a second now. Separate first and second into turn number 3 and 4. Hyde going to close in now. Oh, he got a good run coming into turn number 3 and 4.
Oh, but he's got to get high here. He's real close to that wall. But that's going to give him a lot of time there. And he just keeps trying to bring it back and give him that gap back. Hyde and Osman are really pushing each other, and I don't know, this might be a neck finish.
Hyde was faster that time around, 39.9 to Dale Osman's 40.05 as they're coming down. 3 laps remaining here at Michigan International Raceway. It is the American Motorsports Association Next Gen Challenge Series. Trying to set ourselves up for a classic finish here. Working lap number 98 out of 100. Osman and Hyde, 1 and 2. Radford sitting back there in the 3rd spot. 2/10 of a second, the gap now between first and second between Osman and Hyde. Radford sitting 9/10 of a second back here as they're going to get the white flag next time around here. It was Dale Osman a 10th quicker, 40.1 to 40.2. And Roy Hyde and Radford running identical laps here as we are having an issue here. We're going to have some overtime, maybe. We just had a replay. No, that was a replay from earlier, I think. No, that just happened. So we're going to stay green. We're going to stay green here. Thought we were going to have some overtime here, but the yellow did not come out. But tough break there for Smith in that 95 machine, getting a little bump there. White flag's out this time by Joe. 1 to go here at Michigan. If Roy Hyde's going to have something, he better get it on now.
Yeah, he's got to get it right here. Maybe on that last turn, but this is his last opportunity. And Troy Radford, he's going to be pretty comfortable there in that third place spot. So all it is a battle here with our top two with Osborne and Hyde.
Here you go. You see the blocking down the back straightaway, snaking back and forth. Hyde goes low, so does Osborne. Hyde goes high, so does Osborne. He's going to try to close up into turn number 3 and 4. Out of turn 4, can Roy Hyde make a move down the tri-oval? I don't think he's going to be able to make the pass. The winner of the Samantha Mills Memorial 200, supporting LDA, it's Dale Osborne coming out from 6th place on that last pit stop to take the win here at Michigan. Roy Hyde comes 2nd, Troy Radford 3rd, Dustin Payne 4th. Eric Blount's going to round out the top 5. Brian Littleton comes home 6th. Travis Smith, after getting shuffled through the infield grass there, he'll come home 7th. Brian Britt 8th. As look out, Snare getting sent into the pits on the final corner. Baker's going to come home 9th. German 10th. Medford Walter Snare getting shuffled all the way back. He was in the top 10. He's going to end up finishing back around 16th or 17th, so a tough break. We'll take a look at that replay here between Baker. Oh! Baker just throwing the elbow there on Snare, sending him down into pit road. Wow, that's
just unfortunate.
I don't know about that move right there.
I don't know, man.
There's the winning donuts from Dale Osborne. We're going to come back with our final field rundown and talk to the movers and shakers here when we come back here on LSR TV, LiveSimRacing.com. You've been watching the Samantha Mills Memorial 200 supporting LDA. We'll be right back in just a moment.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom T-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized. I mean, we do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customers. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing. And if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink color. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, T-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees at yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
All right, welcome back to Michigan International Raceway as we have finished the Samantha Mills Memorial 200 supporting #LDA. Take a look at your final field rundown. Dale Osborne, your winner after coming back from the pit stop with 10 laps remaining. Come out 6th, ended up the winner. Roy Hyde comes home 2nd, Troy Radford 3rd, Dustin Ping 4th, Eric Blount rounds out the top 5. Brian Littleton finishes 6th, 7th place goes to Travis Smith, 8th place to Brian Britt. Steve Baker comes home 9th, and Dustin German rounds out the top 10. Brandon Medford comes home 11th, Justin Walters 12th, Chris Wood 13th, Matthew McMeekin 14th, and Cade Green 15th. Brian Snare 16th after getting pretty much body slammed down into the pit area. Ray Radford coming home 17th, 1 lap down, and Alan Pajari, your pole setter, an early race leader, comes home 18th, 41 laps down. 19th was Damon Cox, 45 laps down. Josh Cuddell, 46 laps down in 20th. Tom Quattlebaum Jr., 46 laps down in 21st. Doug Wysocki, 49 laps down in 22nd. Chris Mefford, 55 laps down in 23rd. Brian Miskell Jr., 67 laps down in 24th. And Chris Canfield, 73 laps down, rounding out the field in 25th. Here in our interview room, we've got our third place finisher, Troy Radford. Troy, kind of a back and forth race with you. You kind of got shuffled down early on in the race. You took a ride down the backstretch, kind of got shuffled off the racetrack. You kept yourself out of trouble, ended up on the podium. Pretty good race for you.
Yeah, that kind of recovery is about all you can ask for out of the night, man. I kind of got put on a really weird strategy at the beginning just because the way some stuff fell and, just really kind of put me behind. So, survive, finish P3. I can't complain too much.
Coming off of, sitting in the point standings, it's like you're sitting right there in 14th. You've made 8 starts, 2 wins on the season. So it's not a bad season for you so far, but consistency seems to be the key here in these points runs.
Exactly, and for me, I work Thursday nights typically, so it's kind of hit or miss as to whether I get here or not. So, when I'm here, I'm not typically an open set driver, so it's definitely a learning experience for me. But we put together some good runs this season, but I've also missed quite a few races.
All right, I know you got a lot of people you want to give thanks to help make it happen for you.
Oh, yeah, of course. For me, big thing is, of course, all the guys over at Falcon Motorsports. We've been working a ton on these, as well as National Kidney Foundation, Lucky Finn Project, Evidence-Based Mommy. And, thank you guys for coming out and doing what you do, as well as the admins.
All right, that is third place finisher Troy Radford here at Michigan International Raceway. We're going to send it to Joe Panino with our second place finisher.
Yeah, I'm here with Roy. Roy, you started out in 15th and really worked your way up there to second place. A little exciting to see. How did it feel out there coming up from being down there and not qualifying to working your way through that field?
Well, it wasn't bad. I'm a long run setup, and so I knew in the beginning I'd be kind of in the way, so I wanted to avoid the big mess that if one did happen early on and just let everybody get settled out and then start picking them off one by one and move our way up there. But it was pretty fun.
Yeah, we see that you actually had the fastest lap of the race, it looks like. So were you set up to just be sort of long run? So you said you set yourself up to just be that long run and just kind of push your way through the end of the race?
Yeah, that's the initial. Normally I'll work on long runs, and I think the draft probably had a lot to do with that lap time. But, I really don't pay much attention to the actual scoreboard during practices. I look at lap 10s and lap 15 speeds, and that's normally what I gear myself for in the hopes that it goes green. Luckily, we had some decent green flag runs, which helps out.
All right, and is there anyone you want to thank today, Roy?
All the guys over at NGR, Dirty Air Motorsports, and of course the wife for letting this grown man sit down in front of a computer for god-awful hours throughout the week just to practice this stuff and get decent at it. Turn 3, you guys up there in the booth do a great job with the broadcast. I've heard a lot of good things about it. And just everybody in general that comes out and helps everybody out throughout the week, just getting better with setups and advice and practices and stuff like that. It's a good group of guys.
We appreciate your time here, and congrats on that second place. We're going to send you back with Chris Nunn with our race winner. Back to you, Chris.
All right, thanks a lot, Joe. Here with our winner, Dale Osmond. Pitted on lap 45. Thought you were going to stretch it out. You had enough fuel, I believe is what we were told. And you had enough fuel, but did it come down to tires? It was just kind of hard to hold on?
No, our fuel run was only actually about 35 laps. So
okay.
I pitted right at the end of my fuel tank there. I ended up taking 2 though, so that's why I was able to, get back up there and pass Troy and Roy there at the end and not fall too far behind.
Yeah, we were trying to figure out exactly, the cushion that you had with about 15 to go when you pitted, how far behind you're going to fall. It seemed like, taking 2 tires, that was a good strategy call, and it did not take you long to get back up front.
No, I knew the 2 tires were going to be a little bit looser, and that's why I needed to be quicker. So, that was a really good call.
You had that line down the tri-oval. I think I've seen you below the white line every single lap. That seemed to be a definite difference maker for you. You gained a lot of ground on that tri-oval.
Yeah, the front stretch is where you could gain or lose a lot of time. If you went up towards the wall, you lost a lot, but if you went down into that dogleg type of thing, you could gain a lot of time.
Second win on the season. Your last one coming back on June the 4th at Martinsville. Kind of feel good to be back in victory lane, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome. And, I've got to give big thanks to my sponsor, Ohio and Indiana Roofing Company. My teammate Dustin, this setup was all him this week. I didn't work on it at all. So, yeah, big thanks to everyone at the team, and thanks to my family for watching. But yeah, second win on the season. It's awesome.
Close points battle. You were currently sitting 60 points behind the points leader, Steve Baker, and then you're behind Littleton and Hyde. When you close up the gap, it's a close points race here going into the home stretch.
Yeah, and I missed 2 races a little bit earlier in the season, which definitely hurt my points. But if I can keep racking up these wins, I think I'll have a good shot at the championship.
Here's your chance to thank everybody that helps make it happen for you, sponsors, and anybody else you want to give shout-outs to.
Yep, again, teammates at Blackhawk Motorsports. Thank you to my sponsor again, Ohio and Indiana Roofing Company, my family for watching. Thank you guys for broadcasting. You do an awesome job. And thanks to everyone in the league, the admins, they make all this possible.
All right, that is tonight's winner here at Michigan International Raceway for the Samantha Mills Memorial 200 supporting #LDA, Dale Osborne. Well, Joe, a pretty exciting race. We thought there was going to be a blowaway to start with, but it turned out to be a pretty good race at the end when it come down to pit strategy.
That's for sure, Chris, and a real exciting race too there at the end of it. These guys really keeping it nice and close, so we're happy to be here, and a huge thanks to AMA for letting us be in the booth tonight.
All right, that's going to wrap up our broadcast here tonight on LSR TV, your home for sim racing. My name's Chris Nutt, alongside Joe Panino and our producer, BJ Duvall. We will see you in 2 weeks for another race involving the American Motorsports Association, our Next Gen Challenge Series, brought to you by Ohio and Indiana Roofing. It will be the ALS Association 150, the Richmond Night Race. That's coming up in 2 weeks, right here on LSR TV. We're going to bid you adieu. We will see you later on. Good night, everybody.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSR TV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSR TV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.